Ismail. I'll call him now. Hello, Mr. Amar. You free today? Can we meet up and discuss about BOT? Let's meet up, Mr. Amar.
The project is 50% done. We expect to complete by 65% by next month.
Infrastructure is all good. It is on track.
Correct.
Sorry for bothering with your team. We have Miss Tia over here. So she would like to know about the BOT details. Can you explain to her?
Sure, come here.
Sure about the BOT. Come, look inside here.
So what is BOT concept? Okay, based on the graphic here, it starts with the private sector investment, which induce the construction, include the design, and then overall operation, which will be transferred to the government. So what is BOT? BOT is build, operation, and transfer. It's derived under PPP model. The ownership transferred to the government after concession period. So what is BOT suitable for? First, it's suitable for large infrastructure projects such as highways, power plants, water systems, and any other infrastructure that the country wants to innovate. Second, PPP is also a project that needing a private investment. What is procurement in construction? Procurement in construction is a process that involves planning, tendering, contract awarding, and project delivery. There are many types of procurement method. Why? Because first, traditional method cause delay and higher cost. Project need higher delivery and also innovation in need in this decade. And also lastly, private sector helps share risk and also funding.
Now, let's look at the key stakeholders involved in a BOT project. The first stakeholders is the government or public sector. They usually own the project assets and provide the concession or license to the private company. The government ensures the project aligns with public needs and provide the necessary regulatory approvals and oversight. Second is the private contractor or developers. This is the party that actually designs, finance, builds, and operates the project. They take on the main constructions and operational risks and recover their investment through the project revenues, such as tolls or user charges. The third group is the financial institutions. This includes banks and investors that provide funding for the project. They evaluate the project's feasibility and ensure that it remains financially sustainable throughout its life cycle. Finally, we have the end users, who are the ones that ultimately benefits from the infrastructures or service. They pay for using it, whether it's a toll road, power plant, or water supply system.
This slide shows the timeline for a build-own-transfer project, outlining the key stages from initial planning to final transfer. We start with identifying the project and conducting a feasibility study. These include assessing technical, environmental, and financial viability. For example, the Smart Tunnel was proposed as dual-purpose tunnel for stormwater diversion and vehicle traffic. Next, the procurement strategy is selected. The goal is to reduce the public sector's financial burdens and leverage private sector efficiency. The government invites private participation through a competitive bidding process. Then, a concession agreement is signed. This defines the duration of ownership and operation, typically around 30 years, and outlines responsibilities for financing, design, construction, operation, and maintenance. In this stage, financial is secure, possible with government grants or guarantee. Detailed design are developed and approved by relevant authorities. Then, construction begins according to approved design and timelines. Regular reporting and inspection are carried out by government representatives. Once operational, the Special Purpose Vehicle SPV runs the facilities and earns revenue through tolls or usage fee. The SPV is responsible for maintenance, performance, and service standards throughout the concession periods. Finally, the facility is transferred to the government at no cost. it must be in good operational condition as per the agreement.
Moving on to the advantages of the BOT model. The first advantage is that it reduces the capital burden on the public sector. The government doesn't need to spend a huge amount of money upfront because the private partners takes responsibility for financing and construction. Second is private sector efficiency and innovation. Private developers often brings in advanced technology, modern management practice, and innovative approach that improve both speed and quality of delivery. The third advantage is the risk sharing. In a BOT arrangement, risks are distributed between the government and the private company. For example, the private side may take on the construction and operational risk, while the government handles the regulatory or political risk. This balanced approach makes help the projects more sustainable. And finally, BOT projects are highly suitable for infrastructure development, such as highways, power plants, airports, water treatment facility, where large investment or long-term operation are required. Overall, the BOT models combines the strength of both sectors, the government's strategic oversight and the private sector's efficiency, to deliver better infrastructure and services to the public.
For this section, I will explain the key disadvantages of the build-on-transfer procurement method. While BOD is widely used for infrastructure projects, it comes with several challenges. Okay, the first one is high initial cost for private entity. In BOD, the private developer is responsible for financing entire project upfront. This creates heavy financial burdens and exposes to the developer to significant risks, especially for large-scale projects. Secondly, complex construction arrangement. BOD projects involve long-term agreement between multiple parties, government agency, financier, and contractors. These contracts are highly complex and take considerable time to negotiate and finalize. Thirdly, government dependency. The success of BOD projects often depends on the government guarantees, approvals, and regulatory supports. Any delays or policy changes can severely impact project timelines and profitability. Fourth, public opposition. To recover investment, private operator may impose higher tolls or tariff during the concession period. This can lead to public dissatisfaction and opposition, especially for essential infrastructure. Fifth, long concession period. BOD require a long operational phase for the private entity to recover costs and earn profits. This extended the concession period can create uncertainty and limit flexibility for the future improvements.
Continuing on the comparison between BOT and two similar procurement methods, which are design, build and build, and build operate on. The comparison will be made based on 5 named aspects. Firstly, project financing. BOT is financed by the nominated private sector selected by the government. Meanwhile, for DBB, the client will be responsible for the financing of the whole project. And for BO, this financing will be made by the planning private sector. For ownership, BOT is initially owned by the private and will be transferred to the government after an agreed concession period. DBB will have the project completely owned by the client, usually the government. And for BOO, same as DBB, but instead it is owned by the private sector. For risk accountability, BOT will place building and management risk to the assigned private sector throughout the concession period, with regulations made by the public sector. For DBB, all involved sides will be held accountable for the risk towards the project. And for BOO, this is fully burdened by the private sector completely. The fourth one is on operations. For BOT, the nominated private sector will handle operations, including on capital revenue during the assigned concession period. For DBP, operations will be handled by the client after the completion of the project. And for BOO, any assigned private entities will handle the operations of the project after its completion. For the last point, which is suitable project for each methods, BOT is usually applied on large infra projects such as highway and bridges. DBP is more on conventional buildings such as hospital and schools. And for BOO, is usually for private assets such as power plants.
When to use BOT? First, BOT is a great for big projects that need a lot of money upfront, like highways, airports, or power plants. These projects need more money than the government might have, so private companies can fund it instead. Second, BOT works well for projects that will bring in money for a long time, such as toll roads, utilities, or transport networks. These projects generate steady income over the years, which helps private companies get back their investment. Third, if the government doesn't have enough money for a project, BOT helps fill the gap. It lets private companies finance the project, which reduces the government's financial burden. BOT is good when you want to share the risk. The private sector takes on the risk of building and operating the project, but the government still oversees it to make it sure it meets quality standards. Finally, BOT also works when you need expertise, efficiency, and integrated innovation. Private companies are motivated to finish projects faster and cheaper since they will earn money based on performance. So in short, BOT is a great choice for large, expensive projects, especially when the government needs help with funding, expertise, or sharing risk. It allows both the government and private sector to work together for a successful outcome. Next, I'll be presenting two significant BOT projects in Malaysia, the Smart Tunnel and the North-South Expressway. First, let's dive into the Smart Tunnel project located in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. The project utilizes a BOT model, particularly for its motorway component. The total length of the stormwater alignment is 9.7 km and the stormwater and motorway alignment is 3 km. The estimated cost of this project was approximately 1.887 billion. The original concessionaire was a joint venture between MMC Engineering and Government Berhad under SMAPT Sdn Bhd, while the current concessionaire is Amanat Lebuh Rakyat Berhad ALR. The primary purpose of this dual-function tunnel is to mitigate city flooding while also helping to reduce traffic congestion. The Smart Tunnel holds the distinction of being the world's first dual-purpose tunnel for both flood mitigation and road transport. A major innovation in this project is the Integrated Flood Detection System (FDS), which allows for automated monitoring and control. The tunnel operates under 4 flood models, allowing it to switch between traffic and flood use. The Smart Tunnel has been recognized for its success and engineering achievement. It has effectively reduced flash floods in central Kuala Lumpur, particularly in areas like Masjid Jami and Jalan Tun Perak. It has been hailed as a national engineering achievement and stands as a model of private-public collaboration. The tunnel has also improved traffic flow between Kampung Pandan and the Sungai Bersih Highway. The knowledge gained from tunneling through difficult karstic limestone has been applied to future infrastructure projects. While the Smart Tunnel has been largely successful, it's not without challenges. The dual operation has proven to be complex, requiring precise coordination and well-trained control center staff. The project incurred high construction and maintenance costs, but its long-term benefits justify the initial investment. This project highlights the importance of innovative design and a strong government-private partnership. Now let's turn to the North-South Expressway NSE, another major BOT project in Malaysia. The total length of the NSE is 870 km with 500 km of new roads and 370 km of upgrades. The project cost was approximately USD 3.19 billion. The concessionaire for this project is Project Liberai Utara Selatan, and the concession period spans 48 years from 1986 to 2034. The NSE is notable for its scale and impact. It remains Malaysia's largest, most profitable BOT project as recognized by the Asian Development Bank in 2000. Despite facing challenges such as the 1980s recession and funding difficulties, the project was successfully completed. The NSE has significantly stimulated national connectivity and contributed to regional economic growth. Like any major infrastructure project, the NSE has its share of lessons learned. There was an overprotection of the concessionaire, particularly through the minimum revenue guarantee, which limited the risk transfer to the private sector. Despite over toll hikes led to public dissatisfaction, resulting in government compensation amounting to 100 million. In 2011, EPF and UAM took over plus, effectively returning greater control to the government. Let's look at 3 overseas BOT highway projects. The M6 toll in the UK was the country's first modern toll motorway. Despite being privately financed and operated, traffic numbers were overstimulated, teaching us the importance of realistic forecasting and flexible financial terms. The Delhi-Gurgaon Expressway in India highlights urban challenges. Even though it was successfully delivered under a BOT model, congestion and safety issues emerged because of the design and enforcement gaps. A reminder that strong regulatory oversight is crucial. The last one is Cross Harbour Tunnel, CHT in Hong Kong, was the city's first BOT project, opening in 1972 and reverting to government ownership in 1999 when its 30 years franchise expired. The success of the CHT encouraged other private sector BOT projects such as the Eastern and Western Harbour crossings.
To conclude our presentation, the basis of BOT allows the private sector to finance, build and operate a huge project in an agreed concession period before transferring it back to the government to continue the operations. It can reduce the government's upfront financial burden to finance a large-scale project. It can also bring in private sector expertise through seamless skills in technicality, innovation and excellent operation management towards a large project. That's all from our team. Thank you very much.
How is it? Do you understand